Yes, ma'am, you're good.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Clover Garden School Board of Directors, March 14th, 2023 meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. Ms. Moragan, role and mission of the board.
Role of the board, we are entrusted to care for the current school and stay focused on the vision for the future school. No trust, no unity, no progress. The mission, Clover Garden School will foster community, generate enthusiasm, challenge students academically, and produce successful citizens.
Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda for this evening? Any changes or updates? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening? Outlines, second, Ms. Foster, all in favor? Thank you. The minutes from February 14th, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to review the draft minutes? Were there any changes or updates? Do I have a motion to approve? Ms. Russell, second, Mr. Russell, all in favor? It's Merle, sorry. So do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Any special guests?
They are all very special. But you will hear from them in just a little bit. So no, ma'am.
Moving on to finances. Ms. Simmons.
February 2023 budget has been in the Google Drive and has been reviewed by myself and Ms. Lane and Ms. June. So I will just like request your approval.
Has everyone had a chance to look at it? Any questions? Motion to approve. Ms. Merle, second, Ms. Russell, all in favor? February 2023 budget has been approved. Audit contract.
Yes, ma'am. So we're in that time of the year for our audit contract renewal. I would like to suggest renewing with Rebecca Barr again. And I request your approval to sign our 22-23 audit contract with Rebecca Barr and prepare our annual 990 tax return.
So I had a chance to review the contract. I have no issues with moving forward. Ms. Barr has been a wonderful partner. Are there any concerns? Continuing with Ms. Barr. Do I have any motion to approve the contract as well? Second, Ms. Foster, all in favor? Moving on to academics. So I have the AIG program update. Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Reagan.
Yes, ma'am. Before they get started real quick, I just wanted to share some just positive highlights from things that are going on. I'd be amiss if I did not share some good news with you real quick. So just wanted to shout out our Envirothon teams today. They competed at the state level. And so we are so proud to announce the following. Our middle school teams placed overall first, second, and third in the state. Woo-hoo. Our high school teams placed overall first and fourth in the state. Woo-hoo. So we are very proud of Ms. Nall and all of those kiddos that were gone today. Very proud of them and their knowledge and their obviously their competitive spirit. So shout out to those kids from Envirothon today. Shout out to everyone that went and helped chaperone and support that event. So we're very proud of those kiddos. And then one other thing real quick, and then I'll let AIG take it away, is I want to shout out Miss June. Miss June has been selected to receive the Chairman's Award through LabCorp. So very, very proud of her. The Chairman's Award is given annually to a highly select group of employees nominated by their colleagues and selected by senior leadership in recognition of significant contributions in delivering world-class diagnostics, bringing innovative medicines to patients faster, using technology to improve the delivery of care, and ensuring efficient and effective practices to optimize our operations. Thank you for demonstrating a true commitment to excellence. So we want to shout out and brag on Miss June for a minute and say, woo, woo, proud of you. Thanks for leading by example, Miss June. She will be celebrated at a resort and spa next week in Scottsdale, Arizona. So we hope she comes back because it's going to be such a nice retreat. But Miss June, on behalf of Clover Garden School, we are very proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for leading by example. So And now, thank you, AIG team.
I think everybody knows me, Lisa Wilson. So I think the last time we were here, we were anticipating an event in November, AIG night. Miss Reagan and I had very high hopes, but we kind of tempered it knowing that it's a night and a lot of people don't come out. So, and you guys actually have this in your electronic folder. So we invited 92 families to come out, and they were going to look at student work. We're going to talk to them about their child progress, if they qualified or not, if they needed one more data point. And actually 75 families attended. So we had 89% participation, which we were, when I say we were jumping for joy, we were jumping for joy, literally. So I'm gonna let Miss Reagan talk about who she's serving right now in elementary.
So I'm Miss Reagan. I think everybody knows me as well. And currently in K-5, which is a first for Clover Garden, especially in the K2 world, we are servicing our students for AIG to demonstrate academically rigor in their math and ELA. In the numbers for that, we have currently 6 students in kindergarten that are being given services for reading and math on a weekly basis. First grade, there are 6 students as well. Second grade, we started with 5 students in second grade who are being served, and these are all weekly basis. Third grade, there are 11 students being serviced, and then fifth grade, there are 11 as well. Fourth grade had 4 eligible students, but per parent and teacher request, they are not having pull-out services, but they are getting services within their classroom from their teacher. So we are extremely proud of that, especially bringing it to the K2 world, and really highly encouraged for our students.
So those numbers represent about, you can see third grade has a lot, they have 11. Those students will be added to our count after the EOGs that they'll take, because they just had a BOG. That was one of the at the beginning of the year. So we anticipate adding 11 more third graders to our numbers. Okay. So for fall, on our fall report, we had 52 students, grades 6 through 12 that were identified. We have a spring report that's going to be in April. April. Yeah, into April. And so these are the students that will be added to the program. So all in all, we're going to have some of those high schoolers just turned in their letters today after I, harassed them for it. And so we'll be all in all, by the end of the year, we'll have about 85 students in the program. Some of the data that we use, like ACT, SAT, those kind of things kind of trickle in whenever the kids have them. There was a little bit of delay. We weren't able to get that information for November. So will be added in spring. So we're very excited about it, especially as we look. So it's a 3-year plan, but every year we reevaluate, we look at it, see what do we need to change, what needs to be better. We know that we're going to be in 2 different places next year. So we're going to have to figure out those dynamics. Also, like I said, the third graders will be added. We will verify all end of year data, which would include iReady, EOGs, EOCs, the ACT scores that we take from the spring, which is for 11th grade. We'll look at new eligibility, and then those services, if those students qualify, we will add them at the beginning of next year, and then their services will start in August. We won't be able to get another parent meeting until maybe September is kind of when we're thinking. Sometime in that first 9 weeks. The first 9 weeks will end about the second week of October, something like that. First, second week of October. And the fall is always really, really busy. We have the break, Labor Day, so it pushes us a little bit. So if we had to have it again in November, it would be fine, just as long as it's before the fall reporting. So that's kind of where we are.
Good job.
Anybody have any questions?
Well, I think kudos to them because having worked in education, typically children aren't even identified until third grade.
Mhm.
So the fact that you all are forward thinking and going ahead and getting some of those the K2, evaluated and recognized by teachers, I think that's, again, just very forward thinking on your part. So kudos to you again.
Thank you.
It was a truly team effort from the K2 teachers. They're the ones that are with the students every day. Ms. Wilson and I and our AIG committee, we just help facilitate any questions that they had. They're the ones doing observations and evaluations and tracking their students. We created a little simple Google sheet where they can evaluate their students, what to look for, how to scale it. And they really went off of that from what we collected as an AIG committee. And, really what highlighted us the most was probably the fact that for the first time ever, Clover Gardens actually identifying our students in grades 4 through 12. And in the fall, we identified 52 students. So that was good for us. And we'll have 6 seniors graduate with a cord in AIG. Okay. That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you.
The next one is the vocational cadet program. Right. I emailed you the presentation. Is that easier for the doer? You'll do it again.
Just a second.
Take this book with me so I have something to hold. I'm Megan Bryant. For those that don't know me, I grew up around here locally. Went to school at Bartlett Yancey, went to UNC Chapel Hill, came back, taught at Bartlett Yancey, and then I started a small business while I was teaching. And it got so large that I had to make a choice. So I've spent some years at home running my business because it's kind of squished in. And so I started subbing here and thinking about if I wanted to come back into the educational world, and really loved it. And actually, Ms. Fox convinced me to come back this year. I've been part of the EC department as an assistant here this year. And next year I want to teach in your middle school and your high school. So I've pitched some class ideas. So vocational cadet program is what I would like to do. It is a program that is focused on kind of getting the kids to explore career options as young as middle school. To think about what they might be good at, what they might be interested in. Yes, and I did guinea pigs, and I took this to curriculum night. And you would not believe how many parents offered to buy me live guinea pigs. My message was a little confusing. But they're cute and they're all right. So middle school would be the career exploration class, and high school would be the vocational cadet. Keep going.
Okay.
So basically, we're trying to get our kids to think about that career because it's going to affect them for their whole lives. I'm somebody that went to college and did not know what I wanted to do with myself. I thought I knew what I was going to do. I was going to be a pediatric physical therapist. That's what I was going to do, or a doctor trainer. And then you get into the real world and you're like, that's not what I want. These classes are not for me. Science and math really aren't my forte. You know what I love to do though is to read. Okay, so maybe I need to be an English major. I don't know. So it took me a long time to figure that out. I should have been thinking about it a lot earlier. I should have been exploring it a lot earlier. And I think that's true for a lot of our students also, that they don't really know what their strengths are and they don't know what's out there. It's not true for all of them. There have been some students, as I've kind of presented this at curriculum, that came up and talked to me. They have an idea what they want to do. And that's fabulous. But I think a lot don't. And so I think we need to start at the middle school. We need to explore what careers are out there. So that would be more guided at the middle school. What's out there? What do we have? Let's research and look at what's popular in North Carolina. Who's hiring right now? What's in demand? What pays what? What kind of lifestyle do I want? What's my personality like? What would I do well at? So we would explore all of those things and try to get them to get some ideas. Middle school's not what you have to decide. But maybe you come out of that class with 3-4 options of things that you are interested in, you want to keep exploring as you grow. And maybe that gives you an idea about what classes you need to take as you're going up, right? If I think I want to do something in the medical field, I need to take more sciences. I need to read more books about this. I need to explore it more. So to get them on that track of thinking that as early as middle school is kind of the idea. Can you flip a couple for me? I'm just kind of wandering. So this presentation actually comes online. I found 2 different free curriculums. One I think is going to be great to kind of use at the middle school. I'm going to put my own twist on it. because I really want to like be broad about it. I think it's important for them to be exposed to a broad amount of careers. I don't want to just focus on, going to college. I want to focus on what all of the options are and what's best for the individualized students in the class. So I think from year to year, it'll change what we look at. I want to see what the kids are interested in too, and kind of be able to show them some of those things. So it's not just like the curriculum that I found for middle school is like, here's these 8 categories and the things you can explore. And I don't want to do that. I really want to make it more individualized to the students and to the area that we live in as well, so they can see what real options are. All right. Yeah. Oh, there's go back one more. I did find this great book. I'm just starting to read it. It's called What Color is Your Parachute for Teens. And I also found a full classroom set already here. It was in the book room.
In the book room.
Of 7 healthy habits for highly effective teens. And so I'm trying to see for now, I kind of think that the parachute one might be great for our middle schoolers. It comes with it's like a workbook as well. And so it comes in the 7 habits for teens. That's 2. So they each have a workbook, and I kind of want to see what's appropriate, but I'm hoping that one will be more appropriate for the middle school and what I'm trying to do there, and one may be more appropriate for the high school. I was an English teacher. This is my strong suit. So I'd love to see if I can do a book study with each of them that would be helpful in looking at this. I keep going. So there's the high school. So I kind of have a couple of slides there. It's fine. I wasn't going to go through them in detail, but just like the idea of how I would pace the middle school and what they would see. So there's kind of 3 stages of what we would look at, but mostly it's looking through these job options and then trying to narrow down by the end where each individual student kind of wants to be and where they see themselves by the end, so that they can research a little more independently is the idea by the end of that one, and kind of have some goals and some ideas by the end. So then in the high school class would be the vocational cadet. And I'm kind of thinking, when I taught at BY, I also taught teacher cadet. And so I'm kind of modeling my idea for this class off of that. And I also found a free curriculum online that I'm working through and seeing if there's things in there that I like. But teacher cadet, when you teach it by the curriculum, it's mainly like you're interning as a teacher. You're learning how to write lesson plans and how to give them. And my students did, and I saw a lot of growth that way. I saw a lot of students who thought they wanted to be teachers get into it and go, and I saw a lot of students who thought it wasn't for them, and they were just in class. They liked me. It was fun. And then they were like, I actually really like this. I have students going through college right now. I have a student who works here. Miss Chandler is one of my teacher cadets. She did a full-out novel study, by the way, with 4th graders as her teacher cadet project. So I'm kind of thinking about this class, this vocational cadet class, as like teacher cadet, but apply it to any career, or maybe more than one. Because in my teacher cadet class, I made them try out 2 different grade levels, just to see the difference. So maybe 1 middle school, 1 high school, maybe 1 4th grade, 1 2nd grade. I made them see what it was like. So I think it could be useful to our high school students to explore more than one, but ideally I'd love to see them researching, kind of individualize what they want to do. And then can we get them out into the community? Can we get them job shadowing some of these jobs that they think they would like to be in? Can we set them up with a mentor? Ideally through the community that we have here at Clover Garden as well. And that's where my ask comes in, because I need help. I need like a Rolodex of people, parents, people that you know, people out in the community that you think would be great for me to approach, who would help our students here, who would help lead to find people to help them figure out if this is what they really want to do. So I think a lot of times you're not going to know until you get to see it in action. So if you think you want to be a vet, can I call, is it the Fridells in 4th grade, Christine?
Frizzell.
Can I call her? And will she let me send her student birthday? Can they see what that's like? Can they email back and forth with her a few times, ask her some questions? You know, that kind of thing. Can she talk to them about the mobile vet versus the, on-site, because she's done both? So that's really where I'd like to see. I'd really like to see the high schoolers be very individualized to the paths they want to take within the vocational cadet. And like I said, I need help finding the right people to help us, which will change every semester because the kids' interests are going to change. So I need like a massive Rolodex of people. That's what I need. So if you have ideas, come talk to me, come see me, I'll give you my email. Because we all know people, I think, who could be helpful to this. And even at curriculum night, when I was talking to parents, a bunch of them, I had them email me right on the spot. And so I've already started to create my Rolodex of people. And I mean, I can create it, by going out into the community, but I'd really like to kind of pull on the people that come from here too, because I think they've got the most investment and that long-term will be a better relationship. So, you guys have any questions?
I see 7 contacts right here. If you need their names, their emails, their addresses, their phone numbers, you just let us know. We'll get that for you.
Send me all of the emails and I'll let a little email that I sent to the parents. And all of you at the same time.
Thank you. Not yet. I'm gonna take a minute because these ladies do not brag on themselves. You've got amazing ladies all sitting in this audience right here. But I want to shout out Miss Reagan and Miss Nina specifically right now because it is lottery time. It is enrollment time. They're going to speak a little bit to this, but also Ms. Reagan tasked them with courses for next year. I said, we've all been talking about this, this whole expansion process, and we want our kids to have options and opportunities that they do not have this year. That is the whole purpose for our expansion, is to be able to open the doors. So you get to hear an awesome opportunity that Ms. Bryant shared. You see what we're doing with Ms. Wilson with our AIG program. Like, we really are trying to improve and be better than, we are now. So I want to shout out Nina and Emily both because trying to compare, okay, what can we do with our current staff? We're hiring a lot of new staff. What kind of programs can we offer our kids? Like, that's what we're here for. So they very nicely put together a quick little, hey, the things to look forward to. So, we had curriculum night just a few weeks ago. That was a success. It was awesome. You can see some information about that in your board folder in the Google Drive. But just thinking about, how else can we challenge our kids? What opportunities, exist for them next year? And they're still in the works, but we want to share a couple of those with you. So just middle school kids, things for them to look forward to, grades 6 through 8. So we've got a couple of courses. You heard a little bit about the career explorations, that course, talking about getting these kids out there, getting them exposed early. Ms. Bryant spoke a little bit to that. We think that's very important, for them to have an idea, because, kids, we don't want them getting to their senior year and then getting into college and then taking courses and it not being what they thought it was, so we really want to be intentional about that. So excited about that course. Also excited about our culture and community studies. That is also Miss Bryant over there. So I'm gonna credit Mr. Feldman on this one. We're going to be very intentional next year about our community outreach and what we're doing in our environment. I'll let him think on that. He's got a slogan and everything. So we are ready. We are getting out to the community. Yeah, good morning.
Our community charter partner.
So we're gonna keep working on it. We're gonna put it on stuff. We're gonna make it stick. Thank you, Mr. Feldman. So, we really are, we talk about getting back to our core, and our values and community being a huge piece to that. So you see some of the partnership that we're talking about right now. Now we're going to go a little further with this culture and community studies with our surroundings. Our kids, we do pull from 7 different counties. So these kids are from all over, but we really want to focus and hone in on some local opportunities for our kids, local businesses, things like that, and get them exposed to things that are nearby, that are close by, that are in Burlington, this Altima Hall area. We are kind of in a central hub where our kids can be exposed to different things and history that takes place, in our community. So anyway, so we're excited about that. Again, that's a developing program, but, I always entice it with field trips. Okay, field trips, they want to go on field trips, but we want to take them places and get them exposed to things that are in your backyard, which we really think will help deal with that partnership. program we're working on. Middle school kids, this is new as well. They will have an opportunity to take intro to ceramics. Ceramics is a big one here. Now that our kiln's working and it's rocking and rolling, we're excited about that. Our teachers are even excited about that. We did a professional development with ceramics a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago now, and we couldn't get them out of the art room. Like we had to go somewhere else. They didn't want to leave. Okay. So opportunity there. We're very excited to offer guitar as a music class. So we've got some artists out there, some performing artists that, they're learning on their own. They're trying to learn how to play guitar by themselves, but got my time's up. Hold on a minute. I'm not done. I'll hurry. Thank you for the reminder. But we have an instructor coming on board that is a specialty for her. And so we're very excited about offering that class to our musicians, our middle school kids. It's not competing with our band program. It's increasing awareness into our band program. And so kids won't have to, Miss Nina and Miss Reagan have worked very hard so they don't compete with each other. You don't have to pick either or. So, with middle school, this is an opportunity for them. We are bringing back theater arts and chorus. That has something that we had to take off the menu, so to speak, this year, but we've got some more interest in that going into next year. So we're excited to bring plays back. We're excited to bring musicals back. So very excited about that for our middle school kids. High school kids, it's all been about high school and expansion and things like that. So we did want to offer some things to our middle schoolers, but to our high school kids, offering another course called Music Appreciation. So it kind of gives them an opportunity if they didn't take band or they didn't take anything in middle school, gives them an opportunity to kind of learn about music. Maybe you want to pick an instrument up in the 9th grade. We don't know. So we don't want it to be like it's too late. I didn't start middle school. This kind of gives them like a prerequisite into taking, some of their band classes. Miss Lloyd is very excited that she gets to bring back jazz ensemble and honor. So the honors level, because we did not have that on our schedule this year. And we do have a lot of kids that are interested in jazz. This one we're working real hard on. And I don't know how much persuasion we still have to do, but we are going to have an intro to woodworking class next year. Ms. Simmons, I'll talk about insurance later, okay? These children and the children with the power tools. But anywho, Ms. Simmons, this is intro. This is intro into woodworking. It's going to be background. We have a lot of kids that have asked for a class like that. We don't offer a full carpentry department, but we are very excited about opportunities for them to learn about woodworking and then what can they do with it and how can we give back to our community. So very excited about that. I don't know how excited Ms. Hollister is. I think we've made her nervous, but anyways, she's excited for a new challenge.
She has a really excellent mentor that she's working with in Bull City, Durham schools. And she's super excited to invite a board member, invite us, everybody to go out with her and visit this and see it in action so that we're all more comfortable with it.
She must be very excited, because she told me that today too.
Yeah. She was like, make sure you tell the board how she did. She's super excited, but we're hammering nails and glue for right now.
Yes, small projects. Okay, till we can trust you with the hammer. Yes. So we're very excited about that class. So, again, I picked, but Ms. McAllister has thought about that. Our kids have actually, requested that course as well. So we're trying to give them a little bit there. And then we are bringing back theater arts and chorus for our high school kids as well. So again, very excited to have that next year. And then Miss Bryant spoke to you about the vocational cadet program. Very, very excited about that. We are really hoping to get our kids out in the community and give them opportunities to just learn more about different careers ahead of time. Other things that are potential, like I say, potential. We always know our kids like those STEM classes, those robotics, things like that. We are working very hard on that. Robots aren't cheap, so we are working on that plan and that project. So hopefully we'll be able to offer something like that soon as well to our high school kids. And we are working hard. There's a lot of opportunities in the community with the local community colleges and things like that. So we're hoping to be able to continue adding to the options and just giving our kids what we've set out to do, that well-rounded education. So again, I'm sorry, Miss Nina, I took some of your time. The timer got me. I'm gonna sit down before it does it again. But I want to shout out those ladies because this is not easy. They give me a color-coded schedule every week where I've made changes And they keep thinking that we're done, and I keep saying, no, we're not. So again, thank them for their patience, and they really are working very hard for our kids. So. Okay, now Nina, now is your turn. Sorry, Nina.
Internships.
All of it. I'm open to all of it. I think for each kid, it's gonna be different. You know, some kids may come in and not know at all what they want to do, and some may know. And I think it'll be different also what we can find for each kid. You know, there may be some things that are more difficult and harder to find, and we'll probably spend more time looking for that. And so, and it'll change with every kid, but I would love to find more like unpaid internship type opportunities for them. Maybe, you know, maybe even researching what could be paid during the summer, you know, something like that. Or small part-time jobs where they could get some experience, you know, somewhere. But I'm open to all of it. It's brand new, so we can kind of do whatever we want, and I'm open to all the ideas.
You know what? Okay, Ms. Miller, sorry. Thank you. Thanks for me.
One more thing. No, I'm just kidding. Just picking. Just picking, Nina.
And it's like in little things all day long, these two are having.
Me, just terrible.
I mean, I was feeling pretty bugged about a lot of things. That's my husband, because he heard it all. But it is, I have to go back to the lottery ran. It did what it was supposed to do. One of the first messages I got after, I'm getting through.
You are.
One of the first messages that I got from a parent after the lottery ran was from an alumni who graduated from here, 2006. She's been trying for 4 years to get her kids in. Okay, she lives right over there, 2 doors down from me. Both her guys got in. And her message was, I feel like I've won $1 million. That's what this school does for people, and I have to remember that at times, because it's, especially this time of year, it gets tough. It was tough when I was inviting 70 people. Okay, now we invited 334, and I think every one of them was called. Some of them multiple times, and some that are crankier than others. So anyway, the lottery ran, we invited 334. We needed 315. We always put a little baby cushion on.
Tiny.
Because we know people have other plans. Out of that, we had 12 that declined for different reasons. 256 so far have confirmed. They have until midnight Thursday night. We have 78 out there that are still pending. Some of those are pending because they're still trying to make up their mind, or, you know, it, for whatever reason. Okay, so lotteries and enrollees is really good because it's sending out reminders, email reminders, if you've not confirmed, or if you've not done your paperwork, or if you've not completed your paperwork. It's also sending out a reminder that your paperwork has not been reviewed by a staff member and approved, which is, I've got 78 right now sitting there waiting for that. It takes a little bit, but anyway, they're getting constantly reminder, so they're calling me to remind me too. I've submitted everything, I don't know what's wrong. Well, it's a process, but it's gone extremely well. We've had additional applications come in since then. We're moving right along. The only sad part this year is second and third grade. There's only 4 spots. And we've got confirmed siblings in those spots that they're not going to get in this year. And that's a hard thing to tell a parent when we switched it around so that we can get more confirmed siblings in. Along with that confirmed siblings, there's a total of 8 alumni children that will be here next year. For a child to graduate from this school and believe in this school enough that they're fighting to get their kids in, it's pretty tremendous. So that process is going on. The other thing I wanted to mention is we talked about how we were switching, how we were pulling the lottery, and that worked out beautifully. The numbers where there's siblings out there waiting, went it about half. So we've got that many more families coming in where it's not going to be, I've got to be free schools and that type of thing. The other thing that we're changing out this year, on lottery day, they get 10 days to confirm that spot in lotteries. Okay, when we get into the summer, that 10 days is way too long, because day one, somebody no-shows, I invite somebody because we've notified them, it gives them 10 days to say yes or no. Well, 10 days, we're 10 days out of our first 20. So what we're doing is through the end of May, it's going to be the 10 days, gives them time to figure it out. June, the month of June, they get 7 days. The month of July, they get 5 days. And we still have to give them some time, even if it's the first day of school. If they're laying out on the beach, if they're the next one on the list, I don't want to just say, oh, you can't be here today, I'm going to the next one on the list. We have to be reasonable. But I just wanted to make you all aware that we are moving up the time that they're being given to confirm. So.
But that's what you're asking for approval for today is.
Is it in there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. Okay.
So total.
Lottery day, it was 960. And since then, we've had additional, the last total number of applications, which I believe was this morning, was 1,024 applications. Our wait list right now is sitting at 651. Last year, the day of the lottery, our wait list was 531 before going into the lottery. So we still have as many kids, more kids now waiting than we had going into last year's lottery. So I think everyone have done a call too.
So what happens to the applications after the lottery? They just go into the waiting list?
Yeah, the lottery continues to pull to give you your wait list number. And so if you apply after the lottery, you just go on the end of that grade. So there's 134 kindergarten applications still waitlisted, 64 first grade, 76 second grade, 59 third grade, 51 fourth grade, 43 fifth grade, 100 sixth graders, 44 seventh grade, 42 eighth grade, 34 ninth grade. Then we dwindle down because we've accepted 10th, 11th, and 12th, but we still have 3 more 10th graders that came in since the lottery and 1 more 11th grader. And those, as we're looking at other people that expire in 2 days, that's where we'll start pulling, is to build up the upper high school. But we will have enough high schoolers. That's not the problem, because we can fill in with the 9th graders. We just need as many of these upper level high schoolers that will rotate out so that we don't get to a point where we're over the number. So, but it's, yeah. The other part of that, enrollees that we just started using this year. It is such a blessing. I could pull up a report instantaneously of the 176 that have already done there. I can tell you how many EC students, I can tell you how many in each grade level. I can tell you how many in each county. I can tell you all this information that pulled in, that I'm not having to go and get this paper, this paper, this paper. We have some stuff still being dropped off, copies, birth certificates, things like that, but 90% of the people that have completed their enrollees have uploaded everything. They follow directions completely, and that information is to us instantaneously. So,
So are we serving how many counties now? Is it step 5 or is it? I've heard you say
it's 7.
7 now. So we went back to 7.
Yep. Mhm.
And so far, with what's come in, Alamance County is number 1, Guilford's number 2, Castle's number 3, a handful in Rockingham. We've got 2 in Orange County that came in. We have a family that, their county is unknown. That's what they would, I have, they're unknown. So we'll have, we'll have to figure that out.
So the lowest amount of days we're going is 5 days?
5 days.
After-
And that's
Okay,
after,
school.
that's at, no, July, from July 1st on, 5 days. But if everything goes right, we're not going to have to invite people in July because everybody will follow through and we won't lose that many. It doesn't work that way. But it's a thought,
Yeah.
So,
No, that's better. I think that's a good plan. Make it smaller.
okay, that's it.
Thank you.
I'm going back to my recliner. I love you all.
Thank you,
I'll see
Nina.
You guys tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, so the last piece, the admissions process. We need to vote on that, so we have a motion to approve the proposed admissions process from Ms. Miller. Do I have a Ms. Russell, the second. Ms. Pepine, all in favor? Okay.
Now, let me the wording. So. Ms. Russell. And who's second?
Mr. Hines,
That is to approve the proposed declining
right,
the days of response to an offer.
Mhm.
If I have that right.
But it's called. I would say the enrollment process. We updated the it's part of the admissions policy.
Okay.
We updated the enrollment policy within the admissions overall umbrella. Mhm.
within the admission.
Mhm.
I'm just like.
It's on there, but I mean, just, it lays it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on there.
It's gonna
A
go
few
into
hours
effect
ago.
as of today. Right.
What's that? This,
Go into effect as of today, since we voted.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. She's really fine. The 10 we've always had, but shorten it to 7 and 5 is really what she needs. So it's not such a long process.
10 days, and 7 days, and 5 days.
Right.
Pretty much like three-
Right. I think I put 3. I thought 2 too. 1.
You have 24 hours.
That's right.
Yeah, you have 24 hours. to
Mhm.
respond.
And the closer you're within that 20-day window, like it is, you got to know. Mm-hmm.
But we are in school here
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks. Okay, that's all for academics. Old business? Nothing, in governance. So our committee updates, governance committee, I think we have some items, but we're gonna. Yeah, let's wait until April. That's fine. Finance committee. Oh, I think Ms. Renee had anything, did she? Or open, okay. Academic. Nothing, okay. Long range planning.
All right, if you just pull up, I want to share a photo.
Mhm.
It's our latest progress. So I should pull that up. So pretty much all the stuff are on site. on all their various type of trades. Yeah, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, stone going up, bricks going up. Still continue to work on framing on the inside, working on all kinds of stuff on the inside. So tomorrow we have our 20th OAC meeting, so we've met 20 times. So here we go. So this is the latest aerial shots. So this particular day, I think this was March 7th. I don't believe this was actually the day that you see the crane there. So that crane was actually putting the heating and air units up on the roof. So if you go to the rooftop, and I've shared several photos in the newsletter of the roof and everywhere else. So just different views. You see the stone going up in the front. Actually, if you go out there today, there's just all stones complete on the front there on the left side. They started brick on the left side, and they started the brick on the back side just this week. A little bit end of last week. You can see the units on the ground there before they go up into the rooftop. So that's all complete. So there's the back. Back will have all brick, various types of brick, metal panels. So the metal panels have not started yet. So I foresee that coming in within probably the next couple of weeks.
And that's the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pool. The pool is gonna stay.
Yeah.
The pool is staying. So they did start some more curb gutter in the back, just trying to, get it in when the weather's good. We got some outstanding weather for the last couple of weeks. This week's a little wintry. They're getting by. So that's just some more additional photos. You see some of the brick that's starting to be laid there. That's on that left side.
Mr. Hubbins, I'll take winter over wet for this
Absolutely.
project.
Absolutely. I'm sharing the same opinion with you. So you can see where the sign has actually gone. Yes. I don't know which one to go at.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. That's the latest update. Well,
A lot of hard work, I know. I appreciate what you're doing. Fundraising committee.
I'll speak to this one. We met, I believe it was March 1st. And so trying to narrow down some ideas with the PTT, and so it's still a work in progress. But that was a good meeting for everyone, just to kind of circle back. I do not believe the biggest thing right now is if we're going to do one before the end of the year, and that conversation within that meeting kind of pushed to it's March. Let's look at something maybe in the fall, kind of more centered around our new families and returning families. And so my job, I left that meeting with communicating with the PTT. So I've got a message out to them to circle back on some dates and things like that. So it's about probably it. That's probably it for the summary.
Okay, new business. This weekend, summer learning program plans.
So I changed that just right before the meeting because this is kind of a continuation of last summer. So we had funds that we had to use up for our part of ESSER funds that we got. And so much of a percentage of that had to go towards your summer learning. And so, we definitely felt the need there because of the gap, the instructional gaps that we had from COVID. So last year was phenomenal. I've shared that with you with the growth that we had, and even from when our kids took the EOGs the first time, and then they did this remediation and they took it again, how, significant that was to helping our overall school report card grade. So we, like I said, did a great job of budgeting and utilizing that money. There is not a whole lot left. So, because of that, we have decided to change. And with so many things going on this summer, we just really want to kind of keep the building as clear as possible because we're going to be moving people everywhere. And so instead of offering a summer learning plan or summer learning program, we decided to tweak that a little bit and do like a remediation boot camp at the end of the school year. So this is why we have now renamed this the second chance, hold on, I gotta flip my pages back to where I was. You're okay, I got a copy. You're good. Second chance for proficiency program. So these guys, we've got an updated testing calendar that I'll send out to our families. But what it did was it kind of backed up. We have to stay within a certain window of time for our EOGs and EOCs to take place. But we still feel like there is still a need for some intensive remediation for our kids in grades 3 through 8. So we are going to utilize this opportunity, if you guys approve that today, in order for us to be able to retest or re-administer any type of integrated assessment. You guys have to approve that. That's not something we have to do, but we would like to do that. We saw the benefits in that before. So what we've done is like the last, like from May, if you look in the, I put this in there as well, but starting on May 16th through the last day of school on the 24th, we're trying to do a, it would be 4 full days of like 8 to 3, of course, letting them go eat lunch, letting them take a break, but really hitting hard on ELA and math. So reading and math, really trying to hone in. Now, granted, we want the first set of EOGs to go well. So we want the kids to be ready for that, prepared for that. But some folks are just not good test takers either. So we want to give them another opportunity in a different setting. So the game plan is with this one would be that last couple of days of school, last about week and a half of school. And we would have full days. We'd have 4 full days of remediation in ELA and math, 2 half days of remediation in ELA and math, because we don't want them to miss out on fun stuff like awards days and parties and stuff like that. So kind of doing 2 half days on the 22nd and 23rd. And then that very last day of school, just doing a review session. Now we usually plan our senior pep rally and things like that on the last day of school. So of course we would work around that, but we would still want them to be able to participate in end of year activities, but also really want to hit hard on those areas that they were not proficient in. So this just kind of outlines why we're wanting to do this. We would give them the re-administration of those EOGs would take place after the school year is out. So that will be on Thursday and Friday of that last week of school. So we get out on Wednesday, then they would retest on Thursday morning and Friday morning. And so then everybody's gone, everybody's out by Memorial Day. And then we've got the whole month of June, which is going to feel like, oh my goodness, only 4 weeks to move and shake everything around and not have to, the kids won't be in the danger zone of things moving, but definitely want to make sure that they get some instruction. So the program details kind of break down those I keep messing this up, 4 full days give you about 12 hours of ELA and 12 hours of math instruction. The 2 half days give you an hour and a half each. And then, so 3 hours total of each. And then you've got some review sessions on the last day. So then we kind of broke it down with a grand total of how many additional hours are they getting total in math and ELA. So they're getting 15 total hours in ELA remediation, 15 total hours in just direct math. And then they're getting 2 hours each in review for ELA and math. So again, it's a very short snapshot of time. But again, that was very beneficial last year. I think the way our plan was over the summer last year, it was like 7 days, maybe it was like 6 full, and the 7th was like a half day review. So we're close to the kind of hours we had last year, but not exact. But we feel like it's just enough. At the end of the year, they're burnt out, they're tired as well. So we want to keep that into account. But we really think it's important to really, hone in on those areas while it's still fresh in their mind while they're with us. So yeah.
You'll be making those students aware of prior to testing. I mean, so in other words, will they know that if they don't pass on that first
They'll be enrolled.
that
Yes.
they will have to do this? Because, I mean,
Yes.
let's just be honest, that's some incentive.
It is.
Because
Yes,
in
ma'am.
other words, if we do have students who just don't give it their best go.
Mhm.
But if they know that if I don't give it my best go this first shot, then I'm gonna be involved
Mhm.
in all these hours of remediation. So somehow if you could make that a little bit of an incentive to them, I know that you have to use every little
You
trick
do.
in the book you can use.
And then I'll jump on that. That's a very good point, because even our testing coordinator, Miss Robin, she's spoken to you guys before, but sometimes there is a stigma around testing, and our testing culture needs to improve. Our kids don't want to test, and we understand that. We don't want to burn them out with testing, but at the end of the day, that's what they look at. That's what we're evaluated on the state's level. So, they're going to have to test, they're going to have to practice for that. The endurance on the EOG is totally different than taking an assessment on a Friday. It's much longer, more complex.
Paper, teachers could, we could kind of have some accountability there. For example, with me, and again, I couldn't tell them anything on the day of the test, but they knew that when they read their passage, that I expected to, as I walked around that classroom, to see them highlighting where they found their answer and putting a number to that question so that they were supporting, that they just weren't going through and randomly selecting something. And now with computers, that makes that whole thing a little bit more difficult. So, I think you really got to do something to encourage those kids who just want to, okay, I'm gonna pick this answer and get done, that's so. I think you could use that to your advantage.
We've had to use something similar with our high school children because our iReady assessments, they thought it would be funny to see how low they could score. They didn't think it was funny when they got pulled out to do kindergarten math. So they suddenly jumped back up to the grade level they were supposed to be on. So I 100% agree with you, Ms. Foster, on that, because over the summertime last year, it was a choice. They had a choice whether or not they wanted to attend. We had our list of people that would qualify and met the criteria. To meet the criteria, they're passing the course, but they did not do well on their exam. They scored non-proficient. Whereas this situation, it will be different. We're still within our school year, so there will not be a choice of whether or not you get put into this program. So I agree.
We need a vote here.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to, what do you call it, the second chance?
This is called the second chance for proficiency. Second chance for proficiency program.
Motion, second chance.
For proficiency.
Program. Right after.
Leave off summer.
Okay.
That's what they made me change.
You just don't know how stressful testing.
It is very stressful.
I mean,
Mhm.
my husband lots of maybe one. He just needs that. Sometimes he look at me and say good night. And I say, "Thank you." So it's hard. It is very difficult. That is, yes.
Honestly, I think the parents are gonna appreciate it.
Yeah,
And this
I
need to.
Yeah. Okay, good. Next is Board of Director elections. We have two community members that their terms in this year, mine and Miss Lynn. We will take nominations for those two elections, or if there are community members that want to come for those two positions. I know Miss Lane is not here, but I definitely would like to nominate her to hopefully do one more term.
I would like to nominate you as well. I mean, is that something you want?
It is.
I mean, I feel like.
Oops, I said that out loud.
School is going to be going through in the next several years with the new addition, and especially with Miss Lane being so familiar with all of the financial aspects of it, I think it would be wise, to keep you all.
I was hoping to talk to Miss Lane today and let her know that I was nominated for another term. I am open for another term. I want to work on that term, within that term of succession planning and making sure the next generation of board is coming in and getting them some exposure and we have a plan for new members, new ideas, fresh eyes, so. Ms. Simmons, I don't know, we have nominations, but without Ms. Lane being here to accept, do we still vote? Or do you know, Ms. Jackson, what? We propose to
You can
vote
propose,
next month for
and
it.
then just wait for her to accept.
Okay, let's do that. So we have a proposal, you can approve the nomination. Does that take a vote? So I think we approve that if Ms. Lane is to accept and I will accept those nominations, then we can vote in April. And we will be renewed for another term. So
When does the community leadership?
it's a 3-year term.
I know when, like, date, I know
Oh.
our term ends like
Yeah.
on June 30th.
Yeah, same. It's the
Same,
same.
okay, so it is the same.
But we like to be early.
Yeah,
to
no,
make
I
sure
get
that,
that, yeah.
number one, they can get invited to the wonderful annual meeting.
So retreat.
Yes. I was sorry to say that in my first retreat.
I'm sorry to say it, you don't want me to sort
We can take you to a spa right now. Y'all saw the pictures of the pool of the new, at the new site. We can take you right there. Anytime.
Might be a little.
See? Glass half full.
Hopefully next month we'll be able to. Myself and Miss Lane. Final virtual visit, Ms. Simmons, how'd that go?
It went well. Just one thing noted, that we plan to do, in the summer. Things good.
The general. Red marks or whatever we call it. Okay, good. Okay, Ms. Simmons, the CIPA policy.
Yes, this has been reviewed and I'm sorry I didn't get it out, sooner, but this is a policy that we have to put into play, and we have internet policies and technology use policies for our students and our staff. But SIPA is a Children's Internet Protection Act. And so it's specific verbiage, and this policy came directly from our IT consultant that we have to have this in place. So nothing changed, like whatever they sent me, I filled in the blanks basically.
Mhm.
And so that we are in compliance for our E-rate funds as well as ties into E-rate. So long story short, it is a very 2-page little policy regarding the Children's Internet Protection Act. So I would just ask for a vote to adopt this policy that was given to us by our consultant. And a survey that we have to answer by April 1st has to reflect these approval board minutes as well. So I would appreciate it.
We did have a few numbers reviewed.
Yes, ma'am, we did. Thank you. And it didn't go to the governance committee. I didn't get it in time. We had some on site, so I let them read it. Real quick. Thank you.
So do I have a motion to approve this of the policy? Mr. Russell, second. Ms. Merle, all in favor? So the policy approved. Anything else right now for open session?
Ma'am.
Do I have a motion to move into closed session under general statute 143-18.11A 1 and 5 at 7:34 p.m. Ms. Foster, second. Ms. Russell, all in favor?